All right, we are finally live. What's going on, everyone? And welcome to a brand new edition of 27 Outs. I, of course, am Ivan, and as always, alongside my partner in crime here when it comes to this baseball talk stuff, Stefan, as always. Welcome, guys. Our apologies, my apologies specifically because, we clearly weren't able to start at exactly 9 p.m. as we usually do. But, I've got some things happening on my end. I'm actually not connected to Wi-Fi right now. So if you guys are seeing all and when it may be how I look, how I sound, it's because I'm actually connected to my phone's hotspot. So it's a little tricky today. I have to do that for just today. Say sorry in advance because if I don't say anything at all and you guys are seeing things on your end, it's a little strange to see that and not be told beforehand.
Nah, yeah, you good,
Is it
bro. You
bad
good.
right now, bro? Or let me know. How's it looking?
Nah, you were a little shaky. You had a little in and out, a couple seconds ago, but it's
Yeah. All right.
expected.
All right. I
It's
want to
ex-
let you guys know though, because
it's expected,
okay.
bro. You we working. We shotgunning this thing literally. So
Yeah,
um,
so let me actually do a quick story time with you guys. So the reason why we're starting at right now it's 9:14. Shout out to all of you who are joining us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Before we get into all of the baseball talk, we are definitely, as you can tell by the title of tonight's video, going to talk the Astros, Phillies, two huge injuries and of course we're going to work our way around the league as Andy, you're funny. He says Campo connection. That's like hood connection in like a third world country, bro. For those who don't know. But listen, the show must go on, right? And what an interesting way to start, right? Usually, you guys and also us as well, like we're so accustomed to things being a certain way, but that's how you know we're pretty serious about this thing, right? Like even if we have to come up with something real quick for the meantime, we got to get the job done. But anyway, quick story time. So I had to quickly set, my mic up, my computer, everything that's needed to do the show, right? Every Monday, as we always do, because I've been helping my mom move since yesterday, right? So
mhm.
everything is clearly not set up. She's got nothing out yet for me to, not have to. By the way, I'm holding the mic. You guys can't tell, but my hand is actually holding the mic. Feels like I'm doing the 9 o'clock news right now, but but yeah, I just wanted to fill you guys in on why we're starting at this time, what's going on. But no worries, by the time we come back next Monday, everything will be situated, and I'll be okay. I would no longer have to hold my mic, right? Also, really quickly as well, I like to do these things from time to time at the start of the show because if I don't say it now, there's a chance that I might forget, right? So, shout out to all of you guys who are supporting us across all platforms. We entered tonight's show with 222 subs. For those of you who are into all that mysterious stuff, I don't know if 222 is like a lucky thing. People always post that stuff, right? Like 1111, 222,
Oh my
333.
God.
We are currently at 222. So shout out for the love. We also had a couple of videos a few days ago. Both hit, I think, over 1K on YouTube.
Yeah.
We are also approaching 4,000 likes on TikTok. So if you're not following us over there yet, please do so. But yeah, things are going, well behind the scenes. We got a couple of things at some point that we do want to share with you guys once it is finalized. But anyway, that's enough ranting. That's 4 minutes of today's show. Stefan, how are you feeling? Where would you like to start? I don't know if you have, one of your own story times. Feel free, but get this show started, bro.
Nah, we good, bro. Somebody get this man some icy hot for his arm, cause your man's doing yeoman's work on this bike, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But no, listen, man. Let's start this way. Um, Zach Wheeler, the Philadelphia Phillies ace, had a blood clot near his shoulder. He underwent a procedure today to get it removed. Uh, what this says to me is that number one, his season is over, and number two, I wonder how the Phillies are going to navigate the pitching staff now because now you're taking the ace of your staff and you're removing him. So now everybody else has to slot up a peg, and you have to expect guys to pitch and play out of their minds. The question I would have if I'm the Phillies right now is, did our World Series hopes and dreams just evaporate just like that with this news of him going down? And not to be the drastic, macabre down guy, but you don't know if he's ever going to pitch again, because blood clots are a very serious thing. We've seen it happen in other sports, most notably Chris Bosh. When he was on the Miami Heat, his career ended because of blood clots. So we really hope that that is not the case for Zach Wheeler, who already told you at the end of this contract, I'm retiring. I'm out of here. So you hope that the retirement isn't premature. You hope that he's able to get back on the mound. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't know about you, Ivan, his season and most notably the Phillies World Series chances just died on the vine with his injury.
Yeah, of course. I agree with you. You know, I like exactly how you said that, because realistically at this point, it's not even just about getting back on a baseball field, right? Like, this is stuff that could, you know, as you mentioned, shorten a career. This is something that will, or possibly if it, you know, isn't able to be taken care of now, could affect him post baseball when he finally does decide to hang it up. And one thing that, and I don't want to put two and two together, because listen, sometimes one thing does have to do with the other, and sometimes it doesn't have to do with the other, right? And when I say that, I'm referring to, you know, for most of us, if you do remember earlier this season, Stefan just mentioned it, you did point out the fact that Zach Wheeler said that he's basically calling it a career when his current Philly contract is up. Now, with this happening in terms of the blood clots and him missing the rest of the season, I wonder if maybe he was already aware of something, right? Like, obviously, you never want something like this to happen to anyone, you know, let alone yourself. But I wonder, did he know something was up with his body? And maybe that's why he's already saying, look, there could be something that comes up in the near future. So I'm giving you whatever's remaining and I'm out because I can't do it anymore.
Could be that, because sometimes these athletes know more about their bodies than we could even imagine. Now, the one thing I will point out is that he pulled himself from the All-Star game with about a week beforehand. And so I think it's one thing that you have to be cognizant of. When a player says, I'm going to pull myself from a certain event, I'm going to pull myself from this particular thing that I would enjoy. And also, these players, they want to be marketed. They want to play in these games because that's marketing dollars you're leaving on the table. But it's just, life is more important. And in the grand scheme of things, do you want Zach Wheeler to, God forbid, have a compromised way of living because of this injury? And the other thing that this points out is that Aaron Nola has to be great now. Aaron Nola cannot have bad starts. He had a bad start yesterday. He was up 6-0, and he gave the lead right back to the Nationals. Now, the Phillies won the game 11-9, but if the Phillies pitching staff, especially the starters, does not give them enough innings to cover the innings that Zach Wheeler left on the table, the Phillies are going to have a very tough time winning the World Series and even going deep into October. So Christopher Sanchez has to pitch better. Aaron Nola has to pitch better. You know, you got to get some more from some guys who you're expecting to be big parts of your rotation, even with Zach Wheeler being healthy and able to pitch. So now it just puts a premium on, you hope Johan Duran is okay, because he left the game, the closer, he left the game after taking a rocket off his ankle the other night. Mm-hmm. They carted him off, which is when you see that, you're like, hold up. You couldn't even walk off the field, bro. They had to cart you off.
They haven't even been able to enjoy him as much as they'd like yet.
Right. And so it's like, hold up. I got the Durant thing going on. I got Aaron Nola not pitching like Aaron Nola, and I got Zach Wheeler now done for the season. Boy, how things can change in a matter of days.
It's definitely some added on pressure for sure, especially when you consider the fact that we are, I think, less than 40 games left to the season, right? About 30 something, if I'm not mistaken. If anybody knows the correct number, feel free to let us know in the chat. Would appreciate that, of course. But I don't know if you feel this way, Stefan, and shout out to all of you who are watching right now. But the two guys in the Phillies rotation who I think need to step it up big time. Obviously, you mentioned Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola has not looked like the Aaron Nola who signed to that deal with the Phillies. He's been the complete opposite, if you were to ask me. But also a guy who has been having a rough second half, I would say, after getting off to a tremendous start for the Phillies early in the year. Jesus Luzardo, like he went from looking like a legitimate ace the first couple of months of the season to then looking like I don't know what. Now he still has flashes of what he showed he could be for the Phillies and for himself, more importantly. But with Zach Wheeler now, hey, as I mentioned, Jesus Luzardo and Aaron Nola, those are two guys who definitely have to step it up big time, because I don't know if you really want to add even more pressure onto the rest of the guys who have been performing well, like a Christopher Sanchez. And you also went out and got what I would say is the perfect closer in terms of what you guys were in need of, especially, Jose Alvarado not being able to pitch in the postseason due to the suspension. So I don't know, man. Listen, if you're a Phillies fan, I feel your pain, not only because of what Zach Wheeler means to you guys, but as a baseball fan, we're talking about one of the best pitchers in the game, man. Like, this is somebody who, listen, he might be getting up there in age. He's in his mid-30s, but he's still got it, and he's been showing us that.
By the way, we don't really talk crazy stats on the show. There was a stat pointed out by, I forgot the gentleman's name. Why did it elude me? Anyway, this stat, Zach Wheeler's 34 games over 500 with the Phillies. That was Jason Stark of The Athletic with that stat. Credit to Jason Stark. 34 games over 500 with the Philadelphia Phillies. I believe his record was 66-32 is what I read.
Yeah. The tough part about it too is, I know we're talking about the pitching side of things, but the lineup has been well lately. I mean, look at Kyle Schwarber. Bryce Harper, I think, hit a home run tonight that was like 440 plus feet at the second deck.
Bomb.
Trey Turner's having a solid season, especially defensively. I know for a while, ever since he actually got to Philly, Trey Turner was a little shaky. It was showing as well. But this season, he decided to turn it, up a notch, as he should have, considering what the Phillies are paying him and what he's earning. But damn, man, just why? Why now? Why? I feel like a Philly fan saying that.
No, but as a baseball fan, you ask yourself these questions like, man, they were literally talking about going into a 6-man rotation because they had too many starters. They were talking about moving Luzardo to the bullpen as early as this weekend. And then the news comes out and you're just like, well, there goes that idea.
Right.
And now you're just hoping, do we have enough arms to get us through a potential postseason run? That's the thing you worry about now if you're a Philly fan. You don't worry about so much if we're going to the postseason because you're going. But can you get through 3 rounds of playoff baseball without Zach Wheeler leading your rotation, especially if Aaron Nola is going to be as up and down as he's been, especially in his last start. So hopefully he finds his footing. You get more from the guys you mentioned, and the lineup just has to be super special. We know what they're capable of when they're right. We might have to see that from now to the end of the year, and hope in the playoffs you get sprinkled with some magical pixie Citizens Bank dust, and we go on a run here. But speaking of injuries, this Josh Hader injury for the Houston Astros feels, I'm going to use a word, feels catastrophic.
Also out for the rest of the season too.
It feels like there is a cloud on the Astros right now that says, hey man, this ain't your year, and this may be the end. And I know we've been saying this for a while now, but Josh Hader literally telling you, my regular season is done. I'm not pitching again this year. Also, just look at what happened to them this weekend. They almost got no hit. A guy had a perfect game.
Right.
On him, went to 2 outs in the 9th inning. And then you get up Sunday and you're like, man, you lost 12-0 yesterday? Jeez.
This Josh Hader news is actually pretty tough, I would say, especially when you just think just about a month ago, right? Or maybe less than that, they found out that they were going to be without Isaac Paredes for the rest of the season. hence why they went on to go get their guy back in Carlos Correa. Yordan Alvarez has been out for most of the season. I believe he's expected to come back late August, early September, if I'm not mistaken. But then he's another guy who, while he is returning, he has to, get back into his groove, especially if the Astros are going to be a serious threat come October. But yeah, another team who really bad timing. But I think in the Astros case, they've been dealing with some other things already. And now the Josh Hader stuff coming up just adds on to, what's been happening thus far.
It looks really bad for them. By the way, just as an aside, you mentioned Yordan Alvarez. He's starting a rehab assignment with Corpus Christi AA tomorrow. So if that goes well and he's able to get through a couple of rehab games, the Astros do expect him to be back with them this weekend. So if he's right and his hand is fine and there's no setbacks, the Astros are planning, hoping, and bracing for him to be back this weekend.
One thing that we haven't gotten into when it comes to both of these teams that we're starting off tonight's show with, and I want to take a second really quickly to remind you guys, shout out to all of you who are watching us right now. Make sure you go ahead and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, aka X, at 27outs3C. For those of you guys who are watching right now via YouTube, hit the like button. It certainly goes a long way. If you're new here, welcome aboard. We talk baseball here. And clearly, you're here at a perfect time because we're doing exactly that right now. So make sure you subscribe. But what I did want to say when it comes to both the Phillies and the Astros, these are two teams who currently both lead their respective divisions. Obviously, the Phillies with, a little bit more of a comfortable lead. But listen, they got the Mets breathing down in their necks. The Phillies can't scuffle here now. You mess around and go on a 4 to 5 game losing streak. The Mets are right there, tied with you again if that happens.
Mm-hmm.
The Astros and the Mariners, they're taking blows every day. The Mariners are inching closer. So it's certainly an interesting time because we got these players being out for what it looks like for the rest of the season. And when it comes to Josh Hader, I did read that he has to do literally nothing for 3 weeks. And then when he resumes the throwing program, that also will take an additional 3 weeks. So that's 6 weeks, right? And if we're talking about postseason baseball, right? Like you can't just come from an injury and be thrown into the fire. I mean, we saw how that turned out for Nestor Cortez in the World Series. No shade. I'm just saying, not always the best decision to just throw somebody into, pressure situations in October because they can backfire. But yeah, man, listen, I hope the Phillies and the Astros are both able to pull it all together to still remain where it is that they're at now. And listen, even if they don't win their divisions, I still would like to see them in the postseason, whether it be a wild card or the division. So both are still out there.
Yeah, it shows you the frivolity and the fragility of a season, right? Like, we look at these guys as superhuman. We look at these guys as being crazy, all strength. I got it. I can handle it. But when you're a guy like Josh Hader who throws as hard as he does and takes as long as he does to get ramped up, that's a very, very, very dicey proposition. And if I'm the Astros, just for the long-term health, I don't let him pitch again this year, even if it's in the playoffs. Right. Because you don't know how this could affect him down the line, and you have him for 3 more seasons. Mm-hmm. So we have to be cognizant of, we want to win right now, but if he's compromised and we can't get nothing out of our investment over the next 3 seasons, then what good did that do by having him go out there and pitch on an arm that may never be the same again? You're talking about a shoulder, and I say this all the time with shoulder injuries. Once you tell me a shoulder has been affected, I start to pull the red flag out and go, hold up now. That's danger zone time. That's not just an elbow that they can fix. We know you'll come back at some point. Shoulders are a little bit more complex. So if I'm the Astros, I'm literally treating this with kid gloves, and I'm hoping that you're able to get him back at some point early in 2026, because 2025, for all intents and purposes, is over, playoffs or not.
Yeah, the tough part about it, too, because Josh Hader, who last season he pitched to, I believe it was like to a 3.8 for the Astros. he got it all the way down to a 2 here in 2025 with them. Like, just to kind of show you guys and remind you how well he's been pitching, and the fact that he is indeed back to the Josh Hader that, you know, we've grown to enjoy over the past few seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So and then of course on the other side with Zach Wheeler, as we mentioned a few minutes ago, I'm sure he's easily like a top 5 candidate for National League Cy Young, but that of course will be cut short now with the whole blood clot issue. 2 guys who you don't really want to see go down, but unfortunate.
I'm going to tell you this. We had 2, somber injury updates. This is a good injury update. Shane Bieber is making his season and Blue Jay debut Friday night against the Milwaukee Brewers. I am amped up for this.
Damn. So I'm happy for Shane Bieber.
I am amped up for this.
I do feel sorry for him because of who the opponent is. I mean, other than the sun, right? Is there anything that is hotter right now on planet Earth? I mean, the Brewers, the streak ended at what? 14 games, right? If I'm not mistaken.
And then they won again today.
Right. And then as I told you guys, I think like a day or 2 ago, I had read somewhere that was actually the second time that the Phillies had gone on like a 10+ game winning streak this season, man.
The Brewers, listen, you talking about 2 over 10 game winning streaks. You went from being up in the division by they were trailing in the division by like 7 games. Right. On May 28th, they now lead the NL Central by like 8.5 games.
Oh, and by the way, another thing that I read earlier too when it comes to the Brewers crazy. As well, not sure if you guys saw this yet, Freddie Peralta, first pitcher in the big leagues with 15 wins. Does he get 20? He's got some time. He could do it maybe.
And honestly, with that offense, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, we're not going to be the people on the show that super pat ourselves on the back because I just want to say something for the record. Didn't we say last week that the Milwaukee Brewers, they do all the extra things, they steal bases, they do all the little things? Who writes an article that says this in The Athletic this morning?
By who?
Ken Rosenthal.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, we had this very same conversation last week. And that's how you know when you're really tapped into something, when your eyes don't deceive you, right? Because everybody says, well, analytics say this and analytics say that, analytics. What they do, you can't teach.
Right.
You got to know the game. You got to be instinctually ready at a moment's notice. Yo, I'm going to take this bag. Yo, I'm going to go first to third. Yo, if I double in the gap, I'm going straight home. Like, these are the things you have to start to play in your mind because the Brewers, they don't have the biggest, financial windfall. They're not making the most money, but what they do is they play baseball. They treat the game as how it's supposed to be treated. And I love how their approach doesn't change based on who the opponent is. Yo, this is how we play the game. We're going to take the extra base. We're going to play non-conservative baseball. We're going to steal bases.
Till the end, too. That's what I enjoy. Like, listen, you might have a lead against the Brewers, but they play the full 9
innings.
Like,
yeah.
You cannot count them out.
And the beautiful thing about that is I feel like that's so lost in today's game because everybody says, yo, if I get down by 4 or 5 runs, it's how many times you see players like mailing at bats where you're like, bro, you wasn't even trying up there, my bro. You took like 3 pitches down the middle. You want to go sit down and keep eating seeds. You getting tossed out here. But they don't give up, and I love it.
You know what it is, too, when you it's funny you say that because I kind of feel like a lot of people who have been watching baseball for some time now and former players, right, like old-timers who played the game, years ago, they always say, like, back then, across all sports, exactly, I want to say as well. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. But across all sports, you hear players often who have played in the past, they say, I used to show up to the field and the opponent, like, it wasn't somebody I was looking to do good things to. Like, I was looking to take you out, And I think nowadays, a lot of athletes, they go into games with the mindset of, listen, I could go 4 for 4 or 0 for 4, right? My check is still the same regardless. And while you are right, at the same time, especially from the fans' perspective, right? Because that's what 27 ounce is all about, right? Like, Stefan likes to say, like, we are the fans, but also for the fans as well, if that makes sense. But it's like, damn, like we also still want to see you guys let it be known, like, yo, if there's somebody on the opposing end who you don't like, let it be known. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of guys do that, but a lot of guys are more reserved where they keep it to themselves because the check is the same nonetheless.
See, but this is where the old school players have a problem with this new school generation. Because if you had smoke with somebody in the old school, guess what? It was up. It wasn't no, oh, no, let's go out after the game and figure this out. It was on site. If I see you, I'm taking you deep. If I see you, I'm striking you out. And the worst come to worst, we throwing bows, B. That's it. And I think we have to get back to wins by any means necessary. Putting the game first. Putting the sport first. Putting the product first. And that's what I think the current player doesn't quite get. But, yo, shout out to Shane Bieber. He made it back. That's a big boost for that Blue Jays rotation if he's right.
Right.
Because you got Kevin Gausman. You got him coming back now. Jose Barrios has been subpar.
Yeah.
But Chris Bassett's still doing his thing at an advanced stage. If you could get Shane Bieber to be Shane Bieber that he was before he got hurt, boy, does that change the equation for the Blue Jays heading into the playoffs. Because now you got two guys in Gausman and Bieber that are legit 1-2. And in the short series, 5 games especially, you might get taken out of here.
Yeah.
You might get taken out of here because, again, Toronto's another one. We look at Toronto as like this big bopping, hulking club. But they do the little things too. They take the extra base. They catch the ball. They don't strike out. I feel like every time I watch a Blue Jay game, they're up there, 12 pitch, 10 pitch, 8 pitch at bat. Where you're like, bro, just put the ball in play or sit down somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm tired for the pitcher.
What I really enjoy about this title, ain't it, Kayla? Sorry. Listen, I don't know if you heard what we said about the Phillies and Zach Wheeler, of course.
I'm in denial.
If you want to rewind, go ahead and check that out. Not sure when you got here.
I'm in denial.
But yeah, listen, what I like about the Blue Jays this season, I'm really enjoying Vladdy having a good season and Bo Bichette as well, right? Like I kind of feel like for a while, and we'll have to see how the Blue Jays and Bo Bichette turns out when it comes to the future, because I believe Bo Bichette is a free agent after this season, if I'm not mistaken, correct? So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. But listen, he's having a hell of a year. If this is going to be, which hopefully it's not, you know, I'm sure Vladdy would like to keep a guy like that right beside him, especially if this is going to be a brand new chapter of the Blue Jays moving forward, right? Knowing that you have Vladdy now for this long, knowing that you have the good pitching, right? And some of the guys that you just mentioned, none of them are aces, but there's certainly guys who get the job done, right? And I think when you have 2, 3, possibly even 4 guys, now listen, I don't want to get all hyped up about him, but Max Scherzer, he's been pitching well as well. Listen, let's see what he has left in the tank and what he could bring to the city of Toronto come postseason time. I think they're going to be fun to watch. No lie, in the 6. No pun intended. I know I'm wearing the OVO shirt. Shrek ain't here, so I could actually get one of those off, you know? If he was here, he'll rip me by the neck.
No, I kind of, listen, Toronto is the type of team that I tend to fear, right? George Springer, a postseason veteran. Like, you got postseason veterans on this staff. Here's the other thing I'm going to tell you, too. You know what I like about the Blue Jays is they play the type of game that in the playoffs, they win you baseball games. Alejandro Kirk doesn't give away at bats. Vladdy, he don't give away at bats. You know, Bo Bichette, you play around, he'll either take you bridge or hit a rocket double down the line somewhere. He don't give away at bats. If this is the Blue Jay team we're walking into October with, they are going to be tough to deal with.
You know what's crazy too, and they're doing all of this without a guy who I know obviously when they signed him, they thought he was going to play a big role in the lineup actually in 2025. But Anthony Santander has done, no disrespect to him, but absolutely nothing for this Jays team, right? And he was supposed to come in, be the big bopper, where it was him and Vladdy Jr., but of course that hasn't turned out well. But that's just to give them credit, right? That's how well this Blue Jays team is playing, where they brought Anthony Santander in thinking that he would play a huge role. As I mentioned, he hasn't brought much, but they're still getting the job done nonetheless.
No doubt. And like he hasn't missed a beat. And the beautiful thing about that is you look at a guy like Anthony Santander not even affecting things, and you wonder, like, yo, what happens if he was on the field?
That's what I'm saying.
Being productive. Now you're talking about two guys in the middle of your lineup in Vladdy and Santander, and to a lesser degree, Alejandro Kirk. You gotta have three guys in your lineup hitting over 20 home runs.
Yeah.
Driving in over like 90 runs. And they're not getting none of that. And
let me ask you this, though, since we are on the topic of the Blue Jays, right? Are you giving them the American League East, or do you think the Yankees have one last hurrah in them and they make it interesting?
Well, the Yankees' schedule is going to be very kind to them.
Blue Jays are up 5.5, by the way.
5.5.
Yeah.
But the Yankees' schedule is going to be very kind. I just don't think the Yankees catch the Blue Jays at this point. If you're the Yankees, don't go all out for the division. Try to get yourself into that second wild card spot, because here's what I think. I think you trying to catch the Blue Jays in the division is like wasted energy. Like, I know you want the home games at Yankee Stadium, but maybe this team having to go on the road and hunker down and have to fight through some things is a good thing, and it gets them ready for October battle. And honestly, you know what? Even in the wins they've had, they haven't been that impressive. So I'm kind of like, okay, you won 5 out of your last 6, but it's not like I'm running to the TV to put on the Yes Network and watch you crap away another game or whatever it is you decide to do. So the Yankees have a lot of work to do. The Yankees season, I'm going to say something drastic, but the Yankees season, the Yankees season hinges on these 4 games against the Red Sox: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Right. It's funny you mentioned the Red Sox, because even they're still in on this whole thing, right?
Right. So, like, if the Yankees if they don't win at least 3 out of 4, to me, we cannot look at the Yankees as a serious contender. Like, this is your time to where even if you split, I'll take it. But you can't lose 3 out of 4, and you can't get swept, because
I'll tell you one thing, though. I've been hearing, and I don't know if you heard this, Stefan. I wouldn't say I necessarily agree with them. Now, is there maybe a tiny percentage? Probably, right? Like, if the world aligns itself in a way where it does turn out to be where I've heard certain people, no lie, you guys might think I'm crazy, but some people actually believe that the Yankees could still make it to the World Series, surprisingly.
Well,
I'm still hearing some chatter about, the American League is still open. The American look at some of the teams now who are a part of the conversation, in the Blue Jays and some others as well. If you really think about it too, it's happening across baseball though, right? Because I kind of feel like for a while we were heavy on the Dodgers, heavy on the Mets, heavy on the Yankees. And I think things have shifted over the past 1 to 2 months, big time, right? Where now you got teams like the Mariners, the Blue Jays, and some others in on the conversation. The Brewers as well. Yeah. We spoke about them briefly again tonight, but things have changed, man. And I get why people are saying that it's wide open, but there's still so many teams that are still in, you know?
So, but here's the thing. The thing with the Yankees is, and I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I don't care what their record is by the end of the season. Their lack of accountability when it comes to on the bases, committing errors, their lack of fundamental playing clean baseball is why I can't take this team seriously. I don't care if they go on a 12-game winning streak. You're playing nobody of consequence. Right? What is going to show me whether you're serious or not is, one, Max Fried, you can't pitch to a 7 ERA from now to the end of the year. Can't happen. All right? The other thing that can't happen is we can't keep allowing the same stupid mistake, not even stupid mistakes, but you can't keep saying it's a long season. We'll figure it out, because there's 36 games left, 37 games left. Like, Tampa's bad, but that's a division rival. You're going into Tampa for 2 games. Tampa always plays the Yankees tough, regardless what the records are, regardless what it may look like. And the thing that I'm being real with myself about is that I kind of don't think there's this magical switch that you can flip on and off and tell yourself, oh, we can make a run for it. Because, yes, 5.5 could be a race like that, but 5.5 could be 12.5 if you're not careful in a week.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So you can't treat this as, oh, we're 5.5 back, we're right there. Realistically speaking, to Stefan, I'm not speaking for Ivan because that would be irresponsible.
Shout out to you, Ray. That's dope. Ray says he's going to the game on Thursday. That's what's up.
Nice. Speaking for you would be irresponsible. But to me, this Yankee season hinges on what happens to them this weekend. Because I'm not going to allow myself to think, well, maybe if you do X, Y, Z, and if
maybe, bro, you never know.
Right. You can, whoever believes that is fine.
Yeah.
But at some point, the sample size has to matter for something. You've been bad for 2.5 months. 2.5 months can be erased by a good 2 weeks of play.
You know what I don't like too? And shout out to Ray, by the way. I know I just mentioned him, but he's one of those Yankee fans who is okay with being realistic when it comes to the Yankees going through tough situations.
Right.
But you know what I dislike? I dislike those fans where if you don't keep your hope in the team the full way, especially when they're going through a rough stretch, such as the Yankees, they don't consider you a real fan. Oh, well, how could you have that mindset? And how do you call yourself a Yankee fan if you don't believe, or whatever the case may be, if you don't have them going to the World Series? Well, listen, we do, Stefan and I both, and we make it very clear. We watch every other team in the game. Right? It's not only about watching one team. And I know a lot of fans, and listen, however you watch the game, watch it to your liking, right? It is what it is. If you like watching your team, watch your team. But what I think you got to be careful with, when you know you only watch maybe one or two teams, if at that at all, you can't sit here and act like there aren't a boatload of teams that are just as good, if not better than yours, right?
Yeah. And I think that's what I'm coming to grips with. I'm leaving the Yankees because I want to transition here real quick because I want to get to them.
Let's do comments. Yeah,
I want to get to them too, but I just want to say this for the record. Listen, it's okay to be honest because I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm a fan of the logo you see in front of you. That 27-ounce logo is the only thing I'm a fan of.
Oh, speaking of that, by the way, what do you guys think about the navy blue? My fault, Stefan, but I know we brought it out last week. We had the red going for a few weeks. But what do you guys think about this navy blue action?
He's silly, y'all. He been moving all weekend. He ain't got his thoughts together. He ain't fully coherent. It's all right, bro.
I'm here. 10 people in here. What up? Shout out to y'all for rocking with us tonight.
For sure.
You know, listen, despite the move, as I mentioned at the top of tonight's show, listen, this is fun, right?
Oh, yeah.
We're almost 40 minutes into tonight's show. We got a decent amount of you guys rocking with us. By the way, welcome aboard. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. It helps big time.
Also, share.
But this is what I look forward to, you know?
Hit the share button, too. Share this with people that, love baseball and let them know we in here. But real quick, I want to read some of these comments. But did you take away the same thing from the Dodger-Padres series that I did? Because I took one thing away from this series.
What's that?
The Dodgers and the Padres heads, and the Dodgers know they could turn the switch on anytime, and it doesn't matter. The Padres could bring in Gandhi, Jesus, Allah, anybody you want to bring in, you could bring in. We in your heads, and you know it.
I read a quote by David Roberts the other day, and he said something along the lines about like him being flattered at the fact that the Dodgers are on the mind of the Padres as often as they are.
Hold up.
Hey, Cody, welcome.
Welcome, Cody. You new in here, man? Hold up. Wait a minute now.
We haven't seen that name. Welcome aboard, bro. Thanks for introducing yourself. Go Mariners. Hey, we talk Mariners here as well. So welcome aboard.
Listen, man, I'm going to be honest with you. The Dodgers sent the Padres a little message this weekend. Nice little message was sent this weekend. And if you don't think that's true, Manny Machado was like 150. 18 in the series.
Right.
They came into this series hotter than fish grease, Ivan. And they left Dodger Stadium looking like, well, damn, here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
The Dodgers had half a pitching staff. 98-year-old Clayton Kershaw went out there and shut you down for 6 innings. Blake Snell turned into second half Blake Snell on Saturday. And I don't know where this has been, but Tyler Glasnow, he looked filthy on Sunday.
Yeah. You know, one thing I do want to share when it comes to the Padres, because I know you know, on a few episodes this year, we've talked about the Padres and that starting rotation, especially the bullpen and that move for Mason Miller and some of the things that they did at the deadline. I was listening to Ken Rosenthal earlier today, and, you know, he was talking about the Padres and how, you know, a lot of people, you know, wouldn't be surprised if they ended up being the team that takes down the Dodgers. But when you look at the team, right, and just look at some of the names in there, Fernando Tatis, Manny Machado, as you mentioned, they got Ryan O'Hearn. Ramon Laureano has been playing well for the Padres. He hasn't missed a beat since they acquired him. No. They got some guys in there who could hit, right? Xander Bogaerts is heating up, you know, Luis Arraez. You know, I don't want to go through the entire lineup, but just to kind of remind you guys about who is on that Padres team. But listen, with all of those names being said, the Padres, when it comes to runs scored, they rank 23rd, surprisingly. You would think that they'd be ranked higher, considering some of the guys who they have. And one thing to give credit to Ken Rosenthal, as I mentioned, was he said the Padres don't hit a lot of homers.
I was just about to mention, because I saw the same thing.
Yeah, and while you don't want to rely on that big time, especially in the postseason, he did point out that sometimes going yard in particular moments may be better than doing anything else. And the Padres don't do that well.
No, they don't. They have 88 home runs as a team. They're not even crack. They didn't even crack double digits yet. You look at who's in that lineup: Fernando, Manny, all these guys in that lineup. You're like, wait, you haven't cracked 100 home runs as a team? That's crazy. Cody, no, we're baseball fans. We love everybody, but we root for the Yankees. But we'll kill the Yankees at a moment's notice. You just missed us bashing them for a good 5 minutes. But we love the game of baseball, brother. Welcome to the family.
We also believe in you guys too, man. Like as Stephen mentioned, we're not Mariners fans, but do we like what you guys have coming together with September and October around the corner? Big time, bro. You know, so we're fans in a way.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, speaking of the Mariners, Bryce Miller is expected to be activated tomorrow. So they get back another dominant, filthy young pitcher in Seattle.
Speaking of the Mariners, now that you're here, Cody, now this doesn't have anything to do with the big league level. Did you guys hear what Victor Robles did in AAA? So he was hit 5 times in one series, by the way. I just want to, for those of you, provide some context for those of you who don't know about this. But go ahead and check it out if you haven't. But Victor Robles, apparently he was hit 5 times in one series. And I guess the 5th time is where he had it. And he literally threw his bat at the pitcher who hit him. So, listen, I know a lot of people may want to judge him for that. But if you hit somebody 5 times in one series, listen, I would be infuriated as well. Now, hit me 5 times in a single season, I don't do a damn thing. But we're talking about 5 times within what? Less than a week? Less than 5 days, maybe? That hurts.
I'm going to be honest. What Chris Rock said, I wouldn't do it, but I understand. I don't know what I would have done if I was in Victor Robles' position, but if you get hit 5 times, I'm firing something at you. Whether it's
that's a problem. That's a problem for sure.
My helmet, a shin guard, something's get thrown your way, brother.
And I know he's gonna get in trouble for this, but I'm sorry. They need to look into why that team hit him 5 times in a series. If you were to ask me,
what it shows me is,
are you trying to provoke the dude? Is this something that you have against him?
What it shows me is it's not. I don't even think it's that deep. I think a lot of people don't.
5 is crazy, bro. It becomes personal.
I agree with you, but I think that's because there's a lack of knowing how to pitch inside. The problem is these pitchers do not pitch inside today. They don't know how to. So when you start throwing inside, it's perceived as, oh, you hit me on purpose, as opposed to, you know what? I don't know how to pitch inside. I don't know how to navigate the corners. the inside corner, up and in, and that's a problem because you're literally cutting off half of the plate to make a point.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to pitch inside, you know what? You don't belong in the big leagues. You don't even belong in pro ball as much as far as I'm concerned. Because if you can't control your pitches to know where they're going, especially at this, where we are in baseball, with as hard as these guys are throwing, with as much velocity as they're throwing with, I don't blame Victor Robles for one. If throwing the bat is all he did, you got off. Because I'd have charged the man.
And beat him with the bat?
What?
Yeah.
Nah, and I'm not advocating violence, but I can understand it if you said, yo, you hit me 5 times in one shot. I'm charging the man, bro.
Yeah.
It's me and you. Because now I'm going to start to take it personal, like you said, like you got a vendetta against me.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to tell you that there is not a lot of tutelage at the minor league level to teach these pitchers how to pitch inside.
I remember, and we know this for sure, some of you guys who are watching right now may know this as well if you've been watching long enough, but I remember when as a pitcher, pitching inside was like sort of showing the batter, like, you got to respect me, right? Because I'll come inside. Like, I remember Pedro was a guy who he would force you to back up. If he felt like you were up close and personal to the plate, he would let it be known with the first pitch of the at-bat, like, hold on now.
Yeah.
Take a step back. Like, give me some space, Whereas nowadays, if a guy's coming inside, throwing 95, 100 plus, it's most likely coming somewhere where you don't want to feel it,
Definitely not. Definitely not. Let's get to some of these comments because I want to get to Rob Manfred and then wrap this bad boy up.
For sure. Emilio, he says he's going to the game Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Damn, you paying rent at Yankee Stadium, Emilio. Enjoy that, bro. That sounds like fun.
Cody says, I hope he comes back. We do too, Cody. We do too. Victor Robles is one of the fun players in the game. Kayla says, if Ranger is back, I feel good about my Phillies still. I never want to see Romano again. Yeah, I heard it's been tough for Romano in Philadelphia. But speaking of something that caused some waves, and usually I'm the guy that kills Rob Manfred on this show. But Rob Manfred, you deserve a hand clap. Now, I'm not going to do a hand clap because I don't want it to ruffle the microphone.
Wait, so fill me in. I want to be honest before we get into this topic. I have been busy this weekend, especially, the past 24 to 36 hours.
I got you.
So I don't necessarily know much about the topic, but I'm definitely going to chime in after you put me on.
So here's what I'll tell you. The long and short of it is he's talked about, expansion, but he's also talked about making the divisions, realigning the divisions, making them more regional, where the players don't have to get on a plane and fly all the way to certain locations. And he wants to make it more regional, where the Yankees, the Mets, the Phillies, the Red Sox are all in the same division, just like the Marlins, who's the other floor, Tampa, the Nationals, and Baltimore, they'd be in the same division. Like, he wants to make it so it's more regional and it makes sense for all parties.
Is this like an NBA thing, like East-West, it sounds like? That's what it sounds like so far.
Honestly, I think that's where they're heading. I wouldn't mind if they do that because to me, you got to get rid of the American National League. Like, there's no point in that anymore. There's no pitcher hitting in the National League.
Especially with both having the DH.
Everybody plays by the same rules. Like, listen, what I would do is I say get rid of the East and West too. Just make it one league. One league where, listen, at the end of it, you get 12 playoff spots. The best 12 teams make the playoffs.
Top 12 teams, right.
Plain and simple. Like, if you're going to realign it and you're going to take this next step and you're going to progress to this level, get rid of the American National League. Get rid of the East and West. Just make it, there's not even divisions anymore. 12 best teams make it.
Now, I'm assuming, because, the clock is ticking, in terms of his tenure as commissioner. But I'm assuming these are things that he already wants to have already in the works before he departs, right?
He wants to get them close enough to being finalized to where he knows it's a real step by the time he goes. And the two places I'm hearing most prominent for expansion is Nashville and Utah.
Right.
Those are the two places at the moment that I hear are very prominent places for expansion. And I would not be surprised if Montreal gets thrown in there and is back in the big leagues. Right now, they want to make it so there's 32 teams. They want to have an even number of teams in each league. So 16 and 16. And you have, obviously, however they work it out, they work it out. But I'm a fan of the realignment. And for most people that say, I don't like it, it's ruining baseball. They gotta stick to traditions. They gotta do all this.
It is, be honest though, Stefan, it is gonna feel weird for a bit, right? Because now, not to say that this is a bad thing, but now we actually have to watch even more baseball than we already do, right? We're talking about two additional teams.
That's not bad. I'm good. I'm good with that.
Right.
My thing is, fans are so adverse to change that it's almost like this is why they tell you baseball is not in it. They're still stuck in the 20th century. At some point, there has to be some level of change where you have to grow into where we are as a sport, not even as a sport, but look at what the other sports are doing. The NBA added an in-season tournament. They added a play-in tournament. They added all these things. And look, people can't get enough of the play-in during the playoffs. Right. People love it. Now, the ratings are down because overall competition is not great. But I think in terms of for baseball, number one, you do want to cut down on the travel, bro. For everybody that says, oh, these guys are millionaires and they're traveling in private jets and it doesn't matter. You try playing a big league game after getting into your bed at 4 a.m. and tell me how your body feels the next day.
Plus, for those who don't go on trips a lot, imagine doing that and you're basically living out of a suitcase.
All
right?
day.
These guys don't really get to go home often, right? Especially on a long road trip. You're essentially living out of a hotel, you know, and you got all these things and man, listen, I get it on both ends, but I think people who mention the fact that these guys are flying first class, you know, they're being catered to, that doesn't necessarily make it easy on the body though, right? Because traveling is going to do what traveling does to everyone, no matter what you do for a living.
No doubt. No doubt. And the thing that I also keep in mind is, if this is going to keep the players fresher when the season matters and the product doesn't suffer because of it, because how many times have you seen teams have to take West Coast trips to end the season? You got to go out to San Diego, Anaheim, Seattle, and you're like, bruh, you couldn't do this to me earlier in the year? You got to do it to me right now?
I know.
When my season's hanging in the balance, I got to go travel all the way over there? That's not fun. And I applaud Rob Mann for at least looking out for the best, because I think this is in the best interest of the fans too. I do. I think you're going to get a better product because the less you have to travel, the better off the games are going to be, because you can lock in. I know I'm going to be, my divisional opponents are at the end of the year. Now you can just play baseball and you don't got to worry about, damn, we got to take this long ass flight to wherever we're going. You know what I'm saying? And it just allows you to be better prepared. That's the other thing. When you're jet lagged and you're feeling foggy and you're not really into the game because you just flew 6.5, 7 hours, you're not worried about a scouting report. You're not worried about watching film on the iPad. You're trying to catch up on sleep. You might FaceTime your wife. You might do something else. Right. Now it's like September is for baseball. Now we're going to play. And so credit Rob Mann for allowing this to even be a discussion. And for
aside from that, was there anything else in addition to that he touched on?
So he talked about a few things. He talked about he talked about the expansion. He talked about, you know, television rights, because they're now in negotiations with a bunch of services. NBC, Peacock, ESPN is still in the mix. Prime is now in the mix. Netflix is in the mix as well. So
Netflix, okay, I like that. I like to see some baseball on Netflix.
He's just talking in broad strokes about what they're planning to do or what they'd like to do. Rob Manfred has done a lot of things that I have not been a fan of. But you can't throw tradition at me when we got a pitch clock and we got a man for a man standing on second base like he's a ghost.
Yeah.
Like tradition you have to stop with the traditions at this point. So,
Right.
listen, anything to bring the game into the new age, I'm a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
And even the robo ones, which I thought I was gonna hate, I'm ready.
Listen, I think I've said this before recently, and I'm not sure on what show to be exact. But at first, a lot of these changes, when they were first introduced to us, automatically I was like, hell no, like just leave it alone as it is, right? Like I've been
Right.
watching the game for this long.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. The hell with some of those who think otherwise. But now that we are seeing some of these things finally be implemented, I like it for the game, right? Like I like the pitch clock now. I like the fact that games don't take as long. Not every game is 3 to 4 hours long. I like the fact that listen, I know we've seen some crazy extra inning games, once upon a time, but I also understand that there shouldn't be games going 16, 17, 18 innings, no matter how enjoyable it may be, when some of these games end after midnight. And I'm not talking about West Coast games either. But listen, at the end of the day, we're still able to enjoy the game for what it is too, right? So,
Razor, we got to give you credit here. Let's make the playoff format being the best of 12 teams. Overall, I don't care about divisional realignment. I don't think it matters in the grand scheme of things. We agree. Just put the best 12 teams in the playoffs and let's get to it.
That would also be interesting too, because certain teams who would get in, especially if they, for example, played in a weaker division, now it don't matter if you actually won your division with a record, I would say, that's not all that good when it comes to some of the other teams, because you just be eliminated point blank, period. Like if you're not one of the best, it's a wrap. It is what it is.
Yeah, and also I think this is going to make these teams play harder, because now you're playing now. Imagine this: Red Sox, Phillies, Yankees, Mets, all in the same division.
That sounds like a war zone, literally.
Fans don't want it because you're afraid that your favorite team might get exposed because of the competition that's in your division. If it's me, I want to see the Yankees get exposed, because maybe them getting exposed allows them to say, damn, we really ain't as good as we think we are, because you got the Phillies in here now, you got the Mets in here now, you got Boston in here now. Now there ain't no Tampa to fall back on. Now you don't got the Orioles to go kill for a weekend. Now you got to put your big boy pants on and play some baseball.
I wonder how will the wild card work, right? Would it be like 8 through 12 being wild card teams, if that were to become a thing? Or you get what I'm saying?
So I think the top 6 would make it. The top 6 would make it guaranteed.
Right.
And then what'll happen is the bottom 6, they'll do what they do in the NBA, where the bottom 6 will have to play in like a round robin, and you see who survives, and they'll finish out like, I think in the NBA the NBA is 6 through 10. So maybe the first 8 make it. Yeah, and then the last 2 in each league, the last 4 make it. So yeah.
I'm surprised why the NBA hasn't adopted the whole wild card name. Like they call it the play-in series, right? Is that what they call it?
The play-in tournament. Yeah.
Play-in tournament, right? They should just give it the wild card,
Honestly, you know what I would do?
That's what it is, bro. That's literally what it is.
What I would do for the play-in, I'd put the play-in in one alternative site. Put all these teams in Vegas. Whoever wins, you make the playoffs, but the play-in tournament is held in Vegas. Like if I'm baseball, I put this wild card round, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I would want to see them. So there's no worry about travel. There's no worry about best 2 out of 3. Yo, listen, we're playing in one standard location. Get ready to play. I don't want to hear nothing about travel. I don't want to hear nothing about, it's a disadvantage. We're putting you on a neutral site. And if you make it out, then you get to play home games.
Okay.
Then you get, because that's an incentive. Yo, if we win these games, we get to go make the playoffs, and we at least get 2 home games.
Right.
You don't get the luxury of a home game being a wild card.
Yeah, you don't deserve it, right?
You don't get the luxury of saying, "Oh, we get the rest in our own beds." No. Y'all both gotta.
Well, here's the thing, though, right? This would make it interesting when you look at, two different fan bases, right? Which team's fan base is actually going to want to travel to this mutual stadium where it's not home, right? For either fan base, but rather you could make it one if a fan base is serious enough and shows out,
That's it. So like, yo, these tickets go on sale. We'll put packages together. If y'all want to come, show up.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily believe that one should have an advantage over the other when you both scrapped and fought and clawed to make it into this position.
You know what that's happening right now. And by the way, this has nothing to do with baseball, but it is a legit comparison in terms of like getting people who enjoy a person for their craft and whatever it is that they're good at. But Bad Bunny, for example, right now, like he's got all these people traveling to Puerto Rico right now as we speak because he's hosting like this tour out there in PR. So you have people who are literally planning their vacations around this man's concerts, bro.
He got a residency out there.
You want to talk about how good you have to be to get your fan base to travel from literally all around the world to come to your homeland, bro, Puerto Rico. That's wild, bro. That's how you know you really got the sauce.
That's how you know you
Bad Bunny for real.
You that dude.
Yeah.
You traveling all the way to PR to plan vacation to come see me perform. That's it.
But I say that because, as we mentioned, if that is a
thing, that's it. And honestly, it'll make these owners have to spend money. Yo, listen, you want these two home games? Put the better product on the field, B. Stop being cheap. You know what these home games generate in terms of revenue?
Right.
Man up. Put your money where your mouth is, because you're not guaranteed to get out of this round. So you're not guaranteed 2 home games. You're guaranteed 2 playoff games, but you're not guaranteed 2 home games.
Right.
You want to incentivize competition, is my point. And that's how you go about doing it.
Yeah, of course. All right. So one final reminder before we go through comments one last time. Shout out to all of you who tuned into tonight's show. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok. By the way, earlier tonight at the top of tonight's show, I did say we are very close to 4,000 likes on TikTok. So if you're not following us there yet, go ahead and show us some love. We're probably going to hit that within like the next 2 to 3 days as we put out these clips in regards to tonight's show. And if you haven't hit the thumbs up button yet, please do so. It goes a long way. Subscribe as well. We're at 222. For those of you who are big into numbers, we're at 222 right now on the YouTube, the home base, the foundation, where it all started. So make sure you guys are on that. But yeah.
For sure.
What we got here?
By the way, we're on the road to 250, guys. So if you know somebody that loves baseball, help us get to 250. 250 is a big goal.
We're gonna hit it. We're gonna hit it for sure. It's just, do we hit it in October, right? When we ramp up the content and you guys get like 2 to 3 videos per week.
Maybe.
I think so. I don't think it's something, I could be getting ahead of myself, right? But I don't think it's gonna be something where we're in November, December, and we're not at 250 yet. I don't think so, bro. But listen, it's up to you guys to prove me wrong, right? Which I hope you guys are not going to do that. Please prove me right, actually. Because I don't want to be here come Thanksgiving and then Christmas like, damn, man, we had like 247, 248. That's how it goes, bro. Like you get so close and then you stay there. And because we see it behind the scenes, right? They don't know. But on our end, you see it. It's like, damn, man, we've been here for like 2-3 weeks. Views are like crazy, like in the thousands, right? But the sub count is like, all right, man, but don't forget about this.
But listen, we appreciate you guys that have subbed so far. Let's get to some of these comments. Razor with a little interesting comment right here. I gotta give you love, Razor. Think the umpires are being bad on purpose.
On purpose? I never really thought about that. I may have to think about that some more.
That's a little conspiracy theory-esque right there. But you know what I mean? All right. What he said here, he said, Ivan, the division shouldn't matter. Best 12 teams across MLB make it to the playoffs. But for that to happen, every team would have to play the same amount of games against each other. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So if it's a neutral site, what would you do in how many games? Oh, best of three.
Yeah, keep it the same.
Best of three. Best of
Right.
three. So whoever gets the 2 wins first moves on. Because you want to incentivize, this killer be killed out here. If we get caught up and we're not out here playing, you got to, you know what I mean? And
they're lucky it's not one and done, especially if you get in as a wild card.
And honestly, I don't want to hear nothing about no rainouts, so I know exactly where we're putting this. We're going right to Phoenix. There's a dome somewhere warm. I don't want to hear nothing.
No matter what's going on outside, the game happens nonetheless.
The game got rained out, blah, blah, blah. No. Y'all playing. Y'all getting to it. Because that's what happens. Oh, we play. What, you picked a neutral side, but you picked outside. No. We ain't picking outside. We doming it up. Y'all playing out here.
Right.
Period.
Could be snowing, could be raining, tornado, whatever.
It ain't snowing and raining, tornadoing for y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all got a job to do.
By the way, I'm so looking forward to the fall, man. I don't know how some of you guys feel, but this last heat wave that we got over the last week and some change ago, I'm hoping that this was it, because with August coming to an end very soon, we got the Burr months coming up. So you got September, October, November, December, all the months where it starts to get chilly. So I'm looking forward to that. My birthday is actually next month. My son also turns 2 next month. September is going to be an interesting month for sure.
Shout to you, man. We don't got to go home, but we got to get the hell up out of here. So peace, y'all. All right, leave.
Rick says he's cherishing the warm weather. So you're one of those. I hear a lot of people saying like, "Yo, leave us summer people who are enjoying the last bit of it alone." Listen, I'm over it. I had enough. I'm sweating in places I didn't even think I could sweat. The heat gotta go.
I feel you on that, but I'm gonna leave you with this final thought. For us people in wheelchairs, y'all can take that cold weather and stick it where the sun don't shine.
Oh, true, yeah.
Because once my knees and back start hurting, I hate all y'all. Oh, we like the cold. We want it nippy out here. All right.
Right.
You can go ahead. Okay. You can go ahead. I'm cool with y'all. But I'm not looking forward to when it's 8 degrees outside and I can't feel my face.
Yeah, I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that. I'll tell you that much.
I'm good on that, but I'm good for a little, postseason baseball hoodie weather. We cool on that.
I mean, listen, if the Yankees are, because there's a chance that they miss, right? Stephen has also spoken about this himself. But if the Yankees are going to make the postseason, we are 2 people who knows exactly what it feels like to be in the stadium during that time, and it gets nippy at night.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm talking like you got to wear your winter coat for a game that starts at like 7 or 8 p.m.,
Nah, yeah. That last game we went to, we was freezing, bro.
Yeah, man. Listen, shout out to Emilio. I don't know if you're here, but quick story time. There was one time me and Stefan went to the same playoff game that Emilio was at. Funny story. I don't know if he wants to share this himself, but I'll go ahead and say it. He spent a portion of the game in the bathroom warming up because he didn't dress properly. Emilio, I felt so bad for you, bro. It was a playoff game, right? Like you want to be able to sit down, feel comfortable, just be right for 3 hours.
That's why in the during playoff games I don't drink. Hell no.
You got the cold plus a beer.
Hell no.
You might spend a portion of of the game in the bathroom.
A portion? The moment you start drinking, you gotta go take a leak.
Yeah, at least like 3 times.
Hell no, I'm out.
I don't know how some people do it. And I'm not gonna do it now, especially at the age of 30. I don't know how people get hammered at games, bro.
I can't do it.
That has never crossed my mind.
I can't do it.
When it comes to drinks at games, the most I've ever had was 2. Beyond that, I'm good. And the only reason why I don't go beyond 2 is because I don't want to be too lit is 1. And then 2, I don't want to be in the restroom for like 3 innings.
Nah, we good. We good on that.
Yeah.
We good on that.
But some people, they pull up to games and you could tell they had a blast, bro. They're like 4 or 5 drinks in.
They start drinking right when the stadium opens. They let them in. They go, the first place they go to is to find a beer. I'm like, yo, dog, hold up. You don't even want to smell the grass.
Yeah.
You don't even want to get something to eat.
Some people start drinking as early as like when they park their car.
They go to Billy's and start getting right.
Yo, Billy's be jumping, bro. Hopefully in the future, we get to go there, experience the vibe. Maybe even like,
host a show there one day.
Host a show. Who knows, man?
You know what I mean?
Keith is there a lot. Shout out to Keith.
Yeah, word up. Anyway, y'all, this has been a TED Talk of our old man struggles when you hit 30 and over. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tapping in. Ivan's internet was not bad despite being on a hotspot, so you came through. And we out of here. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and we will see y'all next Monday.
All right.
Peace.